Hi, my name is Nur Shafira Hazwani binti Hasirun. My matrix number is MS241031655. I will take the introduction and conclusion part of this presentation. I will start with the introduction. Rural schools often face various challenges that can affect the effectiveness of the teaching and learning process in school. Therefore, we were sent to a rural school located 70 km from the city center and only had about 60 students and 17 teachers. When we visited the school, there was one major issue that could be identified, which was inadequate infrastructure. Despite the small number of students, major challenges still exist, especially in terms of inadequate infrastructure such as outdated classroom, incomplete and inadequate laboratory and ICT facilities, lack of teaching aids and basic facilities such as insufficient clean water supply and toilets. According to Rashid et al. 2021, the lack of learning facility will disrupt the smooth running of the learning process in the classroom. Therefore, we choose this issue because infrastructure has played a very important role in creating a more effective learning environment. Without adequate facilities, teachers will find it difficult to implement effective pedagogical approaches, and students will lack sufficient motivation and will not be able to learn more comfortably. In addition, the gap between urban and rural schools will continue to widen if issues like this are not addressed immediately. Therefore, by seriously focusing on improving infrastructure in rural schools, we are confident that it will have a major impact on improving student performance in school and the overall quality of education.
There are three causes of inadequate infrastructure in the context of rural school of teaching and learning that I have analyzed. The first cause is the shortage of education resources. This is because they lack access to the up-to-date textbooks, adequate teaching aids, and modern technology tools. In contrast, they might have limited funding and difficulties on logistics. Hence, the teacher might lack training. The second case is professional isolation because it can affect the teacher's professional development and job satisfaction that might lead to limited opportunities like co- collaboration, participation, and social networks. This also affects because the teacher travel for their teachers training in the urban centers. Lastly, it was caused by the socio-economic barriers. This is because some students didn't come from high-income families and their parents might not have education since they were little. In conjunction, this will give the teachers extra burden and students might not come prepared and have difficulties in learning. As for the theories that can be related in this issue is functionalism theory because it can affect the population in rural areas. In addition, school is a vessel for everyone to prepare their roles. The reason for this is that close relationship between educational infrastructure and school outcomes are important. They are also conflictory that can be related because there are power disparities between rural and urban high school, meaning that wealthier communities had well-equipped schools while marginalized are underfunded and poor maintained facilities that will get a structural violence. The last theory that can be related to this is symbolic interactionism because macro-level impact on the individuals like the interaction and identity. This also applies on the students living in our school in poorly equipped areas might have emotional impacts such as jealousy on the well-equipped school in this region. They didn't get equality in education, same as urban areas. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vanessa and my matriculation number is MS241031684. Now I will present three strategies that can be taken to address the issue of inadequate infrastructure in school. The first is to involve the community such as parents, NGO and companies to help build basic school facilities. For example, toilets, surau and small laboratories. You can also fundraising and gotong royong with agencies such as Mara or JKR. According to Astro Awani 2020, good infrastructure have improved the learning environment. Second, use cheap technologies such as Raspberry Pi to help PDP. If the computer laboratory is not enough, use printed modules or suitable digital materials. This helps teachers make learning more interesting even with the limited facility. Third is apply for grant or assistance from government agency and private company. For example, KPM, KPLB, and YTL Foundation. School can also ask for CSR funds to improve laboratories, toilets, and clean water. According to Kotrunada, headmaster need to prepare application paperwork to apply for grants and assistance. That is a strategy that can be taken in dealing with the issue. Thank you.
Hi everyone. So my name is Jocelyn Binti Donius and my matrix number is MS241031669. For my part, I will be explaining about the strategy implementation plan. So in this phase, I will be addressing the inadequate school infrastructure through the stakeholders collaborations, which is teachers, school leaders, parents, and students. So the elements that I will explain deeply later, which will be roles and responsibilities of stakeholders, and the implementations of a timeline, and lastly will be the potential challenges and solutions. The first part will be roles and responsibilities of stakeholders. First is teachers. Teachers has the responsibilities to identify classroom infrastructure needs for the students. The second is collaborate with NGOs, parents, and agencies for the fundraising programs, and teachers must integrate low digital tools and creative teaching methods. And teachers also has the roles to monitor and evaluate students' progress regularly. The second stakeholders will be the school leaders. School leaders must draft infrastructure upgrade proposals based on the teachers' feedback. School leaders must collaborate with government or private agencies for funding. School leaders also must approve and monitor digital learning initiatives and facilities. School leaders also must support fundraising programs and ensure the smooth school operations. The third stakeholders will be the parents. Parents has the responsibility to actively support school programs and initiative and provide resources for children's learning at home and in school. And lastly, parents must participate in school activities as the contributors, as even either in rural schools or in urban schools, parents plays an essential part to contribute in children's growth and development. The last stakeholders will be students. Students has the role to express infrastructure needs through surveys and teachers' feedback, and students must engage with peers in learning using the digital tools that is provided to the strategies. And lastly, students must participate in school activities by supporting the school infrastructure development. The next part that I will be explaining will be the implementations of timeline. So we suggested for the 3 months of timeline. So the first month will be the preparation phase. In this phase, there will be a stakeholders carried out the meetings and briefings for the other stakeholders, which is teachers, parents, and students too. And also gonna be drafting a proposals for the infrastructure improvement. So for the second month will be the action phase, which will be applying all the three strategies, which is the first one is going to be community-based development, and the second is low-cost digital integrations, and the The third is going to be government or private collaborations for grants by organizing and run related school programs. The third month, which will going to be evaluation phase, the last phase, they will be undergoing for a review progress through the stakeholder feedbacks and reports, which is going to be from the parents and the teachers and the student itself, and also going to be reflecting on effectiveness for the teaching and learning through the integrations or implementation of strategies in a short term or long term. And the last part that I will be explaining is the potential challenges and solutions. So the first challenge is going to be the limited stakeholder engagements. So the solutions will be organized program during holidays, weekends, which will increase the availability of the stakeholders. For the second potential challenges will be the budget limitations as it's located in rural schools. So the solution is the schools must launch a fundraising programs by collaborating with sponsorships with the parents and the school leaders and other agencies. So for the last potential challenges will be the law digital literacy, because as I said before and mentioned before, it is located in rural schools. So the solution is the schools itself by and the school leaders itself must offer some training and workshop for the teachers so they could provide all the knowledge and skills for the students in rural schools. So this will enhance the effective teachings and learning, even though the issues of inadequate school infrastructure. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Hello and good day to everyone. My name is Sunimi Jasmine and my matrix number is MS241031653. And today I will be presenting the strategy evaluation and monitoring based on the three key interventions our group proposed to address the issue of inadequate infrastructure in rural schools. These sections outlines how we will assess whether our proposed strategies are effective. We focus on three aspects. First, methods of evaluation, success indicators, and the last one is the expected impact on school climate and classroom learning. First, we focus on methods for assessing effectiveness. To evaluate our strategies, we will use both quantitative and qualitative methods. For the community-based infrastructure initiative, we will count how many toilets, sewers, and labs are built and repaired. We'll also track community donations and survey parents, teachers, and students on their satisfaction with the improvements. For the low-cost digital technology strategy, we will observe how tools like Raspberry Pi and printed models are used in classrooms. We'll also conduct pre- and post-tests to measure digital skills and collect teacher feedback. And for the collaboration for grants and CSR, we will assess the number of grant applications submitted, how many approved, and what facilities were upgraded. We'll also interview school leaders to evaluate their planning and proposal skills. Next, let's talk about success indicators. These are the measurable outcomes that show whether our strategies are working. First, we expect an increase in student attendance and punctuality, especially in schools that improve their basic facilities. Second, there should be higher satisfaction levels among teachers, students, and parents, especially regarding digital learnings, access, and classroom comfort. Third, we will look for more community involvement, such as mutual cooperation, fundraising, and maintenance efforts. And finally, in terms of digital strategies, we expect to see improved student engagement and teacher confidence in using technology. Our final focus is on the overall impact on school climate and classroom learning. With better infrastructure, Students will feel safer and more comfortable, which improves their motivation and learning outcomes. The use of digital tools helps bridge the gap between rural urban education, making learning more inclusive and engaging, and most importantly, involving the community and external agency builds a stronger support system for the school, which ensures sustainability and long-term success. To summarize all of the three aspects, our evaluation plan will ensure that all strategies, whether community driven, tech based, or grant supported, are measured effectively to improve rural school infrastructure and student learning experiences. Thank you for listening, and I'll now pass it back to the next presenter. Thank you.
In conclusion, inadequate infrastructure in rural school will be barrier to effective learning and teaching if not addressed properly. Therefore, addressing inadequate infrastructure in rural school is a very important step to ensure that the teaching and learning process in the classroom is more effective and conducive. By implementing community-based initiatives, integrating low-cost digital technology, and collaborating with government and private agencies, rural schools can further improve the learning environment to be more comfortable and tangible. According to the study by Andin et al. 2019, studies that have focused on strategy used by schools and communities from rural areas can be used as a guide for other schools. Therefore, this strategy not only improves facilities but also increases student motivations, teacher effective in teaching, and community involvement as a whole. Ultimately, this approach can support a more equitable and inclusive education system that can further bridge the gap between rural and urban schools. Thank you.